Why has such a situation come to pass? Government of former Prime Minister KP Oli, who has just resigned today, his government had banned social media apps on the grounds that they were not complying with Nepali law. This was a huge miscalculation, and that is the ostensible reason. But the real reasons are much deeper. There has been a lot of frustration in Nepal over the widespread corruption by, in high political offices in Nepal. There is impunity in the system, and if you have a high position, you can get away with anything. Issue of Nepo kids, it was viral in Nepal, where these kids, Nepo kids, which are children of these leaders, are showing off their luxurious lifestyles. There was a feeling that the political leadership is not listening.
Ambassador Ranjit, thank you for joining ANI. You have served in Nepal and you have also written a very fantastic book called Kathmandu Dilemma. Can you sir give us a sense of what is happening there and how do you look at this from a prism of an ex-diplomat there?
See, there is a lot of unrest and chaotic situation in Nepal today. And, if you've been watching the videos and social media, it is a sign of utter chaos. Lot of residences are burning. Government buildings are also burning. There have been injuries. Uh, but why has such a situation come to pass? And if you're interested in that, I could respond as
Yes,
to why
please.
Nepal faces this situation today.
Yes, sir. We want to know.
So, the ostensible reason, of course, has been that the government of former Prime Minister KP Oli, who has just resigned today, his government had banned social media apps on the grounds that they were not complying with Nepali law. I
Right.
think this was a foolhardy decision. It could have been better handled. Obviously, foreign companies have to comply with Nepali law, but instead of banning these apps outright, some other via media should have been found. Because, one third of Nepali citizens live abroad. They use basically social media apps to stay in touch with their families. And social media today is also a source of livelihood for a lot of people. And, for the younger generation, it's absolutely critical. So I think this was a huge miscalculation, and that is the ostensible reason. But the real reasons are much deeper. There has been a lot of frustration in Nepal over the widespread corruption by, in high political offices in Nepal. There have been a lot of scams. There have been a few investigations, a few charge sheets. Little action has been taken, and there was a feeling that there is impunity in the system, and if you have a high position, you can get away with anything. So I think a lot of frustration in Nepal. Secondly, there was this sense that families of the top political leaders are very privileged. So this whole issue of Nepo kids, it was viral in Nepal, where these kids, Nepo kids, which are children of these leaders, are showing off their luxurious lifestyles on social media. And the ordinary masses were saying that, look at these people, how they are behaving and living, and look at us. We are struggling. We have to go abroad for jobs. So this was, very major two issues. And there was a feeling that the political leadership is not listening to the street, to what the people feel, that the political leadership seemed to be cut off from the younger generation. But why today there has been so much chaos is because of the manner in which the protest yesterday was handled. The fact that 19 or 20 young people,
Was shot
between
at.
the ages of 15 to 20 were shot dead. So today there is fury on the streets of Nepal, and that is why you find the chaotic situations in and
Sir,
not
but
only in Kathmandu, in other places also.
right. You are a Nepal expert, sir. Do you think you mentioned about the deep reasons just now, but do you think there is much more than what meets the eye? Because Can there be a conspiracy from foreign land?
I don't think so. I think this is, there are very deep seated root causes within Nepal as to why this is happening. So, this is a homegrown issue. It should have been handled better by the political class in Nepal. So, but obviously, within Nepal also there could be elements that are trying to exploit this for their own purposes. And whenever there is instability, there are always attempts to exploit that instability for whatever objectives people may have. But fundamentally, this is a homegrown situation. It is a movement of a Gen Z, of young people. It's a kind of leaderless movement. One doesn't really know who the leaders are. Although today, people like Balen Shah, the mayor of Kathmandu, have joined this movement. Former Chief Justice of Nepal has joined it. A former head of the Nepal Electricity Authority. These are very popular people in Nepal. He has also joined it. But the situation today has really been, one could never have imagined that such a situation will occur in Nepal.
Do you think this has some resemblance with what has happened in Sri Lanka and Bangladesh?
Oh, absolutely. This has very much resemblance to what happened in Bangladesh, what happened in Indonesia. The students have taken really the situation into their own hands because they felt there was no hope. And one of the reasons for this is also, see, the two big parties got together to form a grand coalition, the two largest parties. And the rumor in Nepal was that this coalition has been formed because leaders of both the parties were under investigations for corruption by the previous government. And so, to stop those investigations, they formed this coalition. And then they arrested one of the very popular leaders of one of the other parties, one of the newer parties, who has incidentally been released from jail today by the protesters. So I think, there was this sense that nothing is happening in the, within the existing institutions in Nepal. And these youngsters have taken the law into their own hands. So it's a very fluid situation. One really doesn't know, how it's going to pan out and develop. But it's something that I'm sure that India is also watching very, very carefully.
Do you think that political instability will be there to stay for some time? Because as you said that there is no leader, it's a leaderless movement, what is happening. And do you think some opposition parties, like some of them who are the fringe groups, they may take advantage of this and milk this entire movement?
See, it's very difficult to forecast what will happen in the future, but I just hope that things stabilize. I mean, it's very, very important that things stabilize in Nepal, which is, a neighboring country for India. We have open borders. It's very important for the people of Nepal themselves. And I saw today that the mayor of Kathmandu, who is possibly the most popular politician in Nepal, has made an appeal now asking the people to stay calm and to not take the law into their hands, not damage government property. And now that Prime Minister Oli has resigned, hopefully there'll be movement towards some stability and calm
Do you
within
think
the
it will
country.
calm the nerves? Oli's resignation will calm the nerves a bit?
Well, it's certainly a step in the right direction, and I hope very much that now things will start improving.
So what will be the role of royals now behind the scene?
So the royalists had protested a few months ago quite strongly, and there were some elements of the youth that were supporting the royalists. I think the support that you saw at that time was also because there was so much disenchantment with the existing political leadership in Nepal. So people felt that anything is better than what they have currently. Uh, so let's see, how the situation pans out. My own sense is that, as I mentioned, a few names, there are new leaders that are coming up. And obviously, the armed forces of Nepal will have a very major role to play in stabilizing the situation.
This must be a tough situation for India also, sir, because now Bangladesh is unstable. Sri Lanka is also economically fragile. Pakistan, we always have trouble. Now this new front, Nepal.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I agree.